Hey guys, Ethan here, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about what you should be doing if investing your stimulus check, the new $600 government relief, is something that you think that you're interested in. So we're going to be going over what my stocks that I pick are, how I invested my $600 that I received, and how you can kind of mimic the same thing. However, before we get started, I would need to let you know that this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am no professional by any means, and this should not be used as investment advice. With that being said, let's go ahead and continue with the video. So we'll be going over the way that I did and would invest the $600. We're just going to be going through my portfolio right here on my computer, and I'll go ahead and put a screen overlay on the video so that you can see what I'm doing at. So first, I would recommend buying ticker SPHD or PowerShares S&P 500 Dividend Low Volatility ETF. And I would recommend this because this is a growth and value ETF. It grows in price, but kind of slowly. However, the main reason that I do suggest this one is because they have high dividends. Currently, they're paying right around 5%, or specifically 4.92, and they pay every single month, and they have for the past 5 years or so. I've been paid. I get paid usually around the 30th using Robinhood, and I have my drip on, so my dividend is automatically reinvested into the stock that pays that dividend, so this own stock in this example. It is from the S&P 500's 75 highest paying dividends. That's what is ETF of that. So your fee is going to be rather low, and you're going to be getting that 4.92% every month while also getting some appreciation. However, this ETF does not have a whole lot of appreciation. That is one drawback, but that's because it has that high dividend. But this is actually my biggest portfolio chunk, with being right at, let's see here, 15% of my entire portfolio, and that includes cryptocurrencies. So let's go ahead and move on to option number 2. But before we do that, if I were to receive $600, I would suggest putting right around probably $200 from that $600 into this, where you have $400 remaining. Okay, so the next stock that I'll be recommending is also an ETF with ticker sign VYM, known as Vanguard High Dividend Yield ETF. This is very similar to the last one. It's currently 12.5% of my portfolio. I'd recommend you invest $100 of your $600 stimulus into this. It's the same premise. VYM tracks the FTSE High Dividend Yield Index. It's excluding REITs and weights everything by market cap. So currently the dividend yield on this one is about 3.1%. They do not pay monthly like the other one, which is why I suggest that one more than this one. However, they do pay, I believe it is quarterly. And you'll also be getting the appreciation on this as well. However, it is not great because it is a dividend paying stock, a high dividend paying stock. So yes, I'd suggest you put about 100 of your stimulus into this one. That puts us at $300 left, $300 invested of the stimulus check. Next, we have Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, or VOO. Now, this is just an ETF of the S&P 500, and if you don't know what the S&P 500 is, it is a track of the top 500 performing companies in the United States. It's things like Apple, Tesla, all kinds of stocks. It's the top performing 500. This does not pay a dividend, so it is completely appreciation, which is one drawback. However, it's about 12% of my portfolio, so it's the next biggest one, and I'd suggest out of your $600 stimulus check that you put $100 in this, putting us at $400 invested and $200 remaining. The next stock or ETF that we'll be talking about today is Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. This does not pay dividend as well. Well, it does. It pays 1.43%, which is rather small, and it's about 10.2% of my portfolio, and I would suggest you invest $100 into this one. It's the entire stock market. It's a cap-weighted index that measures the investable U.S. equities market, encompassing the entire market cap spectrum. So it's basically everything. I would suggest you put $100 in that. That puts us at $500 invested, $100 remaining. All right, so the next thing that you should invest in is actually, by my suggestion, I think you should invest in Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is breaking new all-time highs, and it's projected it's going to go even further with both government bodies and a lot of the S&P 500 companies investing in Bitcoin, moving their assets into that. Now, currently, as of the time of this video, Bitcoin sits at $39,078. Now, my portfolio diversity of this is 18.24%. So it's actually a little bit higher than what I had previously thought on the PowerShare stock, the ETF. So I would suggest investing in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing really well. It's about to hit 40K. And I would suggest you put $75 into this, giving us $25 remaining. Okay, so the last thing that you should invest that $25 in is Ethereum. Ethereum is trailing right behind Bitcoin. At the time of this video, Ethereum sits at $1,241, and that is changing every second. It currently sits at 9.2% of my portfolio, and I believe it's going to continue rising. It's something that you should put a little bit of money in, about $25, and that's what I think from your stimulus. Now, with the two cryptocurrencies being on here, I think perhaps it would be a smarter move to go ahead and invest into these cryptocurrencies for short term. And then after that, take that $100 out and invest it into something else. Now, if you take that $100 out of those cryptocurrencies and decide to invest it in a different REIT or a different ETF, my next suggestion is, and I guess you can consider this an honorable mention, is the Vanguard US REIT Fund. The ticker for this is VNQ. And basically it tracks market cap weighted index of companies involved in the ownership and operation of real estate in the United States. So when you own a REIT, an REIT, you own a small percentage of a company that owns investment properties. So let's say you start a company and you buy 5 single family houses and you rent them all out, and then that rent from that is considered your income. And then you can put that on the public company as a REIT, and it becomes a REIT. So the VNQ pays a dividend of 4.05%. I do believe they pay quarterly, but I'm not sure. Now, I'd suggest putting that $100 in this, and as of right now, it sits at 6.2% of my portfolio. So there you have it. That is how I believe that you should invest your $600 stimulus check if you choose to invest it, but that is completely up to you. Remember that this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am by no means a professional in any way, and this is not meant to be taken as advice. If you want to get started investing, you should click the link below to download Robinhood. We'll both get 1 free stock from that as a referral. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoyed. I've got more videos on the way. Alrighty, have a good one.